Hello, my name is Rhonda, and this is Restorative Yoga. Many of us may be brand new to this style of yoga. Restorative Yoga is a deeply relaxing style of yoga. It is a passive practice where we hold our poses for 5 to 15 minutes. Our practice is about letting go of the mind and the body and allowing ourselves to receive. Restorative yoga poses are completely supporting our body, helping us to receive the desired benefits. We often forget. Sometimes we just need to relax. So join me in this restorative yoga practice. Normally, in a studio setting, we would have a bolster, a blanket, and 2 blocks, and maybe an eye pillow. But we're going to use at-home items like throw pillows, hand towel, bath towel. We have bed pillows. So we're going to support our body with our props that we have around our home. Our first pose is supported child's pose. We're going to take a pillow and place behind our knees to provide a little support. Also, if we have any knee issues, this will reduce that tension. We'll stack 2 bed pillows and allow ourselves to melt into those pillows. We'll take our hands comfortably at our sides, releasing our shoulders, and we'll just turn our head on that left cheek, and we'll just find our breath. Restorative yoga is about letting go and focusing on your breath. We inhale through our nose and exhale back out through our nose. It may take us a few moments in this first restorative pose to completely settle in and let go. So follow your breath as it comes in through your nose and back out. We're finding our center, our breath. As we start to follow our breath, we allow ourselves to clear our mind. Allowing our mind to focus on the flow of our breath will start to quiet that chatter we have fluttering through, and just be patient with yourself. There's many things that we have to focus our mind on at this time, so we'll allow ourselves the few extra moments it may take to just completely start to slow down the mind and the chatter and focus on our breath. Our supported child's pose allows us to sink our sits bones toward the earth, allowing us to release tension in that low back. We open up and extend our thoracic spine. We find ourselves sinking our upper body down into those pillows and melting tension throughout. Child's pose brings us back to our earliest days as a child, where we felt supported, secure. So inhaling and exhaling, just sinking deeper and deeper into your pose. Halfway through our pose, we'll just turn our head. So just move to that right cheek when you're ready, and then bring yourself back to that breath. We're allowing ourselves to evoke the sense of security in our child's pose. We feel connected and supported, which allows us to release and let go. So continue focusing on your flow of your breath. It's very rhythmic, your own tension is flowing off and just falling and flowing toward our mat. As you continue to release and relax into this pose, start to feel those hips opening up. We just find our breath. Throughout our practice, I'll let you know when it's time to transition. So just focus solely on melting away into your pose and settling your mind. At any point, if you find your mind wandering, again, focus that attention on that centering breath. We're going to slowly start to transition and work our way through a few cat and cows, moving our props off to the side, and just allow ourselves to find flexion and extension through our spine, moving as slowly as we need to, breath to movement, and just release and open that spine as we move our way through before we transition to our next restorative pose. Giving yourself a brief moment to transition to our next pose. We'll finish up our last few cat and cows, and then we'll transition to a supported bound angle by taking one of our pillows horizontal and the other one vertical on our mat to just provide a little recline for our upper body. We'll take our 2 throw pillows to support our knees, or we can just release those knees with gravity. Maybe we take our hand towel and just place it behind our neck for a little support. We're opening those knees by finding the soles of our feet coming together, and then releasing our upper body, our back, down into our bed pillow. Opening up our arms to the side, palms up to allow ourselves to receive energy. Our supported bound angle is the most important of our restorative poses. It physically opens our chest, our abdomen, and our pelvis. It allows us to release areas that are just restricted by everyday life. Sitting in our chair, even the fit of our clothes. It psychologically allows us to deeply open with safety and support. As we inhale through our nose, we can feel our chest and heart expand, those intercostal muscles opening up and flowering. And as we exhale, we feel those ribs knit back together and our chest lowers. We find ourselves sinking deeper down into our pillows, and our knees are opening up, either toward the floor or sinking into the support of our pillows. We allow our props to cradle us so we can feel completely supported and safe. We continue to inhale and exhale, finding that deep mental connection. slowing that rhythm of our breath as we start to find a deeper sense of relaxation. And we're also finding the ability to clear that mind. Our second restorative pose, we start to find ourselves a little quieter mentally and physically. Inhaling and exhaling. We're holding this pose up to 5 minutes. Any of our restorative poses, you can make your way out sooner than I guide, or you can even allow yourself to stay longer if you're finding a deep connection in your pose. You feel the support of your back, your neck, your head sinking deeper. The bottom of your feet are connected. The position of your legs are that bound angle. We're going to slowly take our hands on the outside of our knees and bring them together. Move those throw pillows to the side, and we'll take a transitional pose, opening our feet as wide as our mat and finding a slow, gentle windshield wiper, taking knees side to side as slowly as we need to. Maybe it's just a light mist that we're wipering away. We move those knees side to side, and then maybe just connect those knees in the center for a brief moment. When we're ready, we're going to roll to the side, use our bottom arm in our fetal pose here, realign our spine, our hips, using that top arm for support. And again, taking whatever time we need, pushing ourselves up so we can transition to our next restorative pose. So we're going to start to reset up our props. And we'll find ourselves with both of our pillows vertical on our mat. And maybe again using that throw pillow for support between our knees. And we're going to find a gentle twist here as we twist and release our upper body down toward the pillows, arms at the side. Again, we'll find ourselves resting on that left cheek, and we're completely releasing in this gentle twist. We feel the twisting sensation slightly in our lumbar and our thoracic spine. And if we want to move the twist up into our cervical spine, we'll bring our head through center and turn our eyes in the opposite direction of our knees. It just depends on the flexibility of your neck. And again, in a restorative pose, you want to feel completely comfortable. So at any point, if you start feeling tension in that neck, you can make your way back through center and then turn that head and eyes back in the direction of those knees. So allow your shoulders to soften at your sides. And we just find ourselves breathing. With this twist, we find the opportunity to untie the physical and emotional knots we may be holding. Our life is so fast-paced. This twist helps us just to relieve and let go of a little stress and tension that we're holding in the back muscles and the side body. Again, inhaling and exhaling, feeling the connection to our props, the support, and again, allowing our breath to fill our body and we feel nurtured. Sensation of letting go. Find our chest melting. We're going to start to make our way to the other side. Take your hands, push them into the floor. But before we make our way, we'll transition by just extending our legs long, inhaling our arms overhead and feeling that connection with our sits bones. We'll find ourselves taking a forward fold, just tucking our chin to our chest, and our spine flows over those hips in the seated forward fold. We'll walk our hands back up. We're going to turn and take that opposite hip up to the sides of our pillows, and we'll find that subtle twist through our spine by taking our hands on each side of those bed pillows and working ourselves down so our chest and abdomen release into the mat. Our knees can just be stacked without that support between them, or you can again find that throw pillow and place it between your knees. And if that's too much, you can also use a towel. The object of our restorative poses is to use whatever props that we may need to allow us to feel ultimate support and comfort in our poses. Whenever we may be ready, we can move our head through center and take our eyes in the opposite direction of those knees to find that cervical spine twist. Again, knowing each side can be different. What we may experience or feel may not be the same on each side or even each day. Always in allowing ourselves to be in the present moment. We're working our way now midway through our practice. So our present moments are feeling each pose and finding the deepest sensation of letting go and relaxing our mind and our body. So whatever that may be, right here, right now. We feel the tension melting from our side body and our lower back. And maybe with that neck turned, we also feel that release. We may find that we can keep the neck longer on one side than the other. Or maybe we're not even able to turn our neck in that opposite direction today. That's okay. Figure out what's best for your practice currently in the moment. Maybe when you're ready, you make your way by turning that neck through center and finding that eyes pointing in the same direction as those knees. We allow ourselves to just breathe. We're making our way to that deepest just a few more moments in this supported twist. That exhale before we transition. We're going to start to bring our hands and press them at our sides, work our way up. Again, turn our back to those bed pillows, extend our legs long, feel those sits bones, inhale those arms overhead, and just release in a forward fold. Just letting yourself melt over, letting your chest and your forehead sink toward your thighs and your knees. We're going to slowly walk ourselves back up before we transition to our next pose. We're going to make our way to our Bananasana pose. We're opening ourselves up laterally. So we'll remove all of our props from our mat. We're going to find ourselves supine, laying down, extending our legs long, and then reaching our arms and stretching ourselves with our fingers and toes in opposite direction, just elongating through our body. And to find that side stretch, we'll walk our heels over to the right corner of our mat. Then we'll walk our shoulders and hands to the upper right corner, opening up that left side of our body. For a deeper stretch, we can cross our left foot over our right, and we can take that left back of our hand and lay it into that right palm. If this is uncomfortable with your arms extended overhead for a long period of time, you can just reach and grab opposite elbows to soften those shoulders. You can allow yourself to be completely restorative by grabbing those elbows. If you just take a few moments and open up and extend and stretch, keep those arms extended, finding ourselves inhaling through that left side body. We're opening our ribs, our intercostal muscles, our obliques. We may even feel a stretch in our left hip. And with that leg crossed over, maybe a stretch in our IT band down that left leg. Just allowing ourselves to release and melt tension for our body by utilizing our breaths. Each inhale, send it to any of those tight areas. And each exhale, use that breath to break away and release your tension. We find ourselves again here for 5 minutes, and we're already almost halfway there, but at any time you can work your way out of the pose. You can release that left foot and uncross it, uncross those hands, even just bend those elbows. Still find yourself focusing inward, flowing with your breath, feeling those ribs on the left side flower open as you inhale, and feel them knit back together as you exhale. We're finding ourselves utilizing our respiratory muscles here on our left side, finding that expansion as we inhale and that compression as we exhale. Giving ourselves the opportunity to just rhythmic movement of our body through our breaths. Otherwise, we feel complete stillness, and that rhythm of our breath may find ourselves being soothed and almost motionless. Continuing for one more minute on this side. Just allowing yourself to open up and breathe. The key to all of our restorative poses is focusing on our breath and releasing our body and our mind. Just a few more moments. Maybe start to elongate that exhale a bit. We'll walk our feet back to center, our hands and shoulders back to center, and just stretch again, finding that neutral spine. Our arms extended, our toes pointed, and then we can walk our feet over to the left. Whenever we're ready, maybe we want to find that deeper stretch by crossing that left foot over our right. Our shoulders and hands have walked over to the upper left corner, and maybe we take the back of that right hand in the left palm, or maybe we have those bent soft elbows, and just feeling that bind, that connection of our arms touching. Again, our restorative practice is focused on whatever we need in the present. So inhaling and exhaling. And finding ourselves settling in to open up the right side of our body now. As we inhale, those ribs open and expand. We feel our obliques stretching, and maybe slightly down that right leg, our right hip. We find ourselves slightly curved. That's why our pose is Banavasana. We make that crescent moon shape with our body. So as always, in any restorative practice, take as long as you would like in each pose. Again, I'm just guiding you through your practice. So if you want to walk yourself back at any point and catch up with me in the next pose, it's always, again, whatever your body's calling for in the moment. So allow yourself to take whatever you need, whatever time and poses. Maybe we've uncrossed those feet and just taken those hands one off the other and keeping ourselves in our crescent shape, breathing into those right ribs, right obliques, opening up and expanding our lungs. Our breath is key to nourishing our body. Continuing our breath for just a few more minutes here in this pose. just a few more moments, I'm going to guide you out and move you back through center. But until that time, keep yourself focused on the inhale and exhale through your nose. You come deep down into your mind and your body. We've worked our feet back to center. Slide those shoulders and arms. We'll bend one knee at a time into our chest. And always take your transition as slow as you need. We'll extend one knee into our chest and the other leg long. Maybe both knees come into our chest and we rock side to side. Release that low back. And just allow a bit of movement before we transition over to our fetal pose. Turning now to that right hip, right cheek. Extend that right arm, using it as a pillow. We're stacking our knees on top of each other, aligning our hips, and just taking a few breaths before we transition to our next pose. Maybe we find a gentle twist by releasing that left shoulder down to the mat and keeping those knees over to our right side. We'll bring those knees through center, and we're going to roll ourselves into our fetal pose now, using that left arm as extended, releasing our head as a pillow. And then we can open up and release that right shoulder down for that twist, knees stacked. Just feeling openness across our heart and chest. We'll push ourselves up to a seated pose. And we're going to get ready to make our way into our next pose, which is our supported legs up the wall. We've made our way over to the wall, taking that hip directly against the wall, laying down on that outside shoulder, then just rolling onto our back, extending our legs up the wall, maybe inching our hips a little closer, and then extend our legs, finding those feet slightly flexed, taking our arms at our side, and resting our back down into our mat. This pose is simple to practice. You can almost practice anywhere you have an open wall. Just lay down on your back and extend those legs. This pose brings the blood and your lymph fluid to pool in the abdomen. It refreshes our leg muscles and enhances the health of our circulatory system. As we bring everything to our center, it allows that lymphatic system to drain those toxins for our body. The fresh blood flow makes its way up to our heart and our brain, just allowing ourselves to breathe naturally here in this pose. We inhale and exhale, again finding that centering breath, and just allow ourselves to be in the moment. We're taking several minutes here, and legs up the wall can be done anywhere from a few minutes up to even 20. Again, you find that point in time when you're ready to work your way out of the pose. I'm guiding you today for a 5-minute legs up the wall. Just allow ourselves to refresh and relax. So just let your blood flow back down to your heart and your brain, and allow yourself to breathe naturally. You may notice the that your breath is deeper and longer at this point of our restorative practice. Just allow yourself to continue to sink deeper and deeper into your mat. You can always find a slight support for your hips by taking a towel or even a blanket. But that flow from our legs down to our hips creates this water falling sensation. Our legs feel completely effortless. We find our heels resting, and we feel softness throughout. Feel that relief of that effortless breath, bringing bliss and nurturing to our body. Continue for a few more moments here with our legs up the wall pose. Breathing deeply. As always, we'll slowly transition our way out in just a few more moments, and you can always stay a little longer. So maybe start to elongate that exhale to find that inner sense of peace and calm. Easily as we worked our way into the pose, and we're ready to guide ourselves out. We'll allow ourselves that ease as we come out. We'll slowly start to slide one leg at a time down the wall, and maybe find the soles of our feet together, our knees open. Just for a moment, finding those bound ankle legs, we'll bring our feet slightly up the wall, and we'll take a figure 4, a supine pigeon. So we'll take that right knee into our chest, cross that right ankle over and place it below the left knee just to open the right outer hip. If it's too much of a stretch, just release that left leg a little further up the wall. If you need more, it comes slightly down the wall. Maybe flexing that right foot and just breathing into that right outer hip, allowing that release. We tend to carry a lot of tension in our hips. So as we relaxed our body, we're trying to release the last remaining tension we're holding. We release that right leg, we'll bring the left knee in, and then open up that left knee and place that left ankle just below the right knee. Again, finding that right leg either sliding up or down, whatever amount of tension we need to release that hip on the left side. Maybe flexing that left foot, and just breathing through this tension release. Taking that left foot back up the wall, we'll slowly walk those feet down and maybe find the soles of our feet together, knees open wide. Just for a few more breaths. Feel that connection of those feet bound together. Just inhaling and exhaling. Just a moment, take our hands outside of our knees, bring our knees together like a book. We're going to roll over again to fetal pose. Just taking either side for your fetal pose. Find that spine in neutral, those hips and knees stacked. We'll push our way up, and we're going to take ourselves to our final pose, our Shavasana. So we're going to make our way down on our backs. Maybe we take that hand towel or wash rag and put it over our eyes. We can take the bath towel and put under our knees for support. We open our legs and arms as wide as our mat, palms up to receive energy, palms down for grounding. We're going to spend 10 minutes here in our final relaxation, our Shavasana, just allowing ourselves back into our center, reconnecting to our breath, and just let that breath flow like an ocean wave as it rushes gently into shore and then pushes its way back out across the sand, out to sea. We follow that rhythm of our breath in and out through our body, allowing ourselves in this final pose to completely feel the sensation of calm radiating at the crown of our head. And as we work our way to our forehead, we feel the center between our brows smooth out and melt across our brow down toward our temples. We feel the muscles around our eyes dripping toward our earlobes. We feel our tongue come away from the roof of our mouth as we release and let go of our jaw. As our face completely softens, our shoulders melt away from our ears and fall down into the mat. And as we take that next breath, they sink deeper. We feel each vertebra resting softly onto the mat as we make our way one by one down our spine. We feel that natural curve now, just resting. We make our way down to our pelvis and our hips. We feel our anchoring and support. Our arms and legs are laying effortless at our sides, completely at peace. That calming sensation is making its way throughout. Our ankles have fallen open. Our fingers have slightly curled. And we feel that sensation of calm now swirling about, just filling in, tucking in to space we've created by releasing and letting go of things that no longer serve us. So fill up those areas with that sensation of calm and use your breath as a guide. As you inhale, feel that nurturing in your body and that sensation of calm. And as you exhale, feel those last drips of release of tension leaving your body. We're finding ourselves in that complete and total blissful state of peace and calm. We've accomplished a restorative practice by letting ourselves work out unwanted tightness and tension through our body, bringing ourselves back into our natural state by releasing and letting go. We feel our mind has cleared. We're now able to focus on one of the most key, essential things of our life, our breath. Our mind is no longer wandering and fluttering about. It's focused at our center, the core of our being, our breath. We may notice that connection now more deeply of our mind and our body. So allowing yourself as much time as you need in your Shavasana, and just let yourself be in the moment. We feel ourselves completely and totally relaxed. Our mind is clear and our body is resting peacefully. Just enjoy the simplicity of the moment. We're only taking what we need, that inhale and exhale of our breath. You may not even notice that your breath has slowed, your mind has calmed, but you can feel it throughout as you lay here at peace. We're going to take a few more moments before we start to make our way out of our Shavasana, our final resting pose. As always, whenever you're ready to guide yourself out, you take the options. As I lay here peacefully, I'm allowing myself just this little bit extra time to feel complete stillness. We're going to ever so slowly take our index finger to our thumb, work our way to our middle finger. This is allowing ourselves to slowly awaken back into the room. We move our way to the ring finger, the pinky, as slowly as we need. Flutter our fingers about, then add in our toes, our wrists, our ankles. Guide one knee at a time into our chest. Maybe just connect those hands below our knees. We'll remove any kind of eye covering. Maybe stretch those arms overhead and then take fetal pose again, coming to our side, resting that head into our arm, and then bringing ourselves up to seated. We're going to find a comfortable seat just to seal our practice. I would like to just find those sits bones. Inhale our arms overhead. Exhale those hands down to our heart center. One more time as we inhale, reaching high to the sky. Exhaling those hands down to our heart center. I would like to offer you my gratitude for allowing me to join you in your restorative practice. I wish you all a week filled with peace and happiness. Namaste.